At the start of any run training period, whether you're an experienced runner or you are just starting out, the most important concept to consider is your base run training period. And it's the period of time that transitions you from either a recovery phase or a sedentary phase where you haven't been doing a lot of running, all the way up to conditioning your body to deal with the more specific training that is required to perform. So it's almost like base training can be called training to train. And the key component of base training is to try and accumulate as much as possible, but still be able to recover. So the general rule of thumb in base training is to not increase your volume on a weekly basis by much more than 10 or 15%. The beauty of the run-walk method is that you can sometimes transcend those numbers. You can improve your mileage by maybe 20-25% on a weekly basis. Also, don't get attached, as we'll speak about in a later stage, don't get attached to measuring your mileage over a 1 week period. You might measure it over a 10-day period or a 2-week period. And that's called altering your mesocycle to adapt to the kind of athlete that you are. But base running basically constitutes easy running, developmental running. And the key thing to remember when you're doing this base running is that recovery. So you're trying to run as often as possible, but still recover, and you're trying to run as much as possible. A good rule of thumb is to know that if you want to increase your running form, is to run more often. In other words, increase your frequency. But if you want specific gains in endurance, then you're trying to build up towards having one long run. Those longer runs, you're trying to develop them on a gradual basis. So when you're doing that base running, what is important to remember is to keep the heart rate low. So keep that heart rate down, somewhere between below 70% of your heart rate reserve. And your heart rate reserve is just using your resting heart rate as an evening factor to the equation. In other words, you take your maximum heart rate, make sure you take your actual maximum heart rate, the one that you've noticed in intense training in a period of time close to when you're doing your base training. Then you subtract your resting heart rate, which is the heart rate that you take first thing in the morning when you're nice and relaxed, but fully awake, from that maximum heart rate number, and then multiply that by 0.70 and then add your resting heart rate in again. So the equation looks a little something like this. It's your maximum heart rate minus your resting heart rate multiplied by 0.70 and then add your resting heart rate in again after that. And that gives you a nice ceiling heart rate for you to work on to be able to do this easy training. You can even, if you're not a very quick runner, you can even count hikes and brisk walks and walks over 45 to 60 minutes as part of this training process as well. Let's say your easy running pace is 11 minutes a mile or 10 minutes a mile. Going out there and doing a brisk walk at 15, 16 minutes a mile is a really, really good way to further increase your base running development. Base running should take place over a period of time of about at least 4 weeks, but somewhere between 6 to 12 weeks of base running will give you a nice basis on which to base your more quality training that follows. Pay attention to how your body recovers, your knees, your ankles, and so on, and in that way you can more carefully increase the volume that you do. Top marathon runners run somewhere around 90 to 120 miles a week. And most people find that they start maxing out, the returns start to diminish once they get to about 60 to 80 miles a week. It's pretty hard to run 80 miles a week, and pretty much if you want to run 60 miles a week or more, you probably want to look at doing some 2 a days in a week. So a lot of my runners would run a single run on a Monday, maybe 2 runs on a Tuesday, a slightly longer run on a Wednesday, 2 runs on a Thursday, maybe take a rest day on Friday, do some quality work on a Saturday morning, and then an intermediate kind of run on a Saturday afternoon, and then that long run on a Sunday. That might be a way to structure a week, and then just build that up. And you'll see as soon as you start adding the quality work, it's not so easy to maintain the volume. So be careful when you interplay with that.